I'm surprised my brother is talking about this country being in a mess. I mean, it's so strange. It's not.
Ghana is not in a mess.
No, not at all.
Oh,
wow. Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, there are people...
No, wait. Are you joking?
I'm very serious. I'm extremely serious. I find it very fascinating to see and also hear my brother talk about the fact that a country, and he's been cynical about it. And after the cynics, they will always be with us, no matter what you do. If people think that until they find themselves in power, they see nothing really good with the incumbent government, those kind of moments will have it. And that's the kind of politicking we've been doing over the years, that we make it look like until we are holding the governance architecture, whoever is in charge of the administration is not doing enough. I'm telling you, we are looking at a government that has been able to put close to 4 million Ghanaians in school, and these people are not paying school fees. We are looking at a government that has been able to sustain various interventions that the NDC government could not sustain. The likes of the nursing trainer allowance, the teacher trainer allowance, and all of that. We are looking at a government that has been able to provide electricity for the country consistently, be it some occasional issue here and there. But we are comparing that to a government that gave us almost 4 years of doom so. So in situations like that, if those arrangements come to tell me that we are in a mess, I find it very difficult to understand the point from which they are speaking from. It's either they rather decided to not admit and also acknowledge the successes that have been chopped by this government, and only would want to appreciate what is happening when the president leaves power. In terms of infrastructure, I'm not sure there's any government in our history that has done what the current administration and Adam Kwaku Bawumia administration has done. In all the facets of our economy, you can talk about the MPP leading in terms of providing for the people roads networks. The NDC within their period did about 4,000 kilometers of road. In MPP, you're looking in excess of 12,000 kilometers of road. It tells you that you cannot compare the two. School infrastructure, massive health infrastructure across the country. This is the government that has really committed to providing the needed health infrastructure that would drive this country health needs. So when you sit here and talk about the fact that everything is in a mess, I'm wondering what exactly is in the mess. I will not sit here and pretend that we've had everything rosy as a country. But in terms of what this government has done and this administration has done compared to what the NDC did during their 8 years in power, we cannot compare it to the MPP. And that ought to be said.
You know, Randy, because of the examples he has given, and because he says that he's not joking, it's important not to, back what I said with some level of evidence that this country is in a mess. And I'm going to use the examples he just gave. Look, you're talking about putting 4 million children in school. First of all, Randy, we all know that the numbers keep changing depending on who you are listening to. Whether the Minister of Education, whether the President, former Minister of Education, the numbers keep changing. We do not have a consistent number. Again, the civil society organizations have told us that this increment in enrollment, if you measure it and do a trend analysis, even before free SHS was introduced, there hasn't been any significant impact in terms of enrollment. If you do a trend analysis before free SHS was, introduced, the yearly increment in enrollment has been established. Now, the mess, however, in even that example, is that apart from students, calendar being messed up and teachers not knowing what to even teach, whether they are doing old syllabus or they are doing new syllabus, and not having textbooks to teach them, you are feeding the children again with poison food. That's the mess. So and yet no one has ever been against free SHS, and you have consistently engaged in this mess, tried to push the narrative that people are against free SHS. When main issue has been about the mess that you are creating with it. And that is why we have always said that anything that has to be done must be done well. Feeding children with poisoned rice, rebagging the rice and getting extensions when you know that the rice, has expired. You will not feed it to even your poultry at home if you were raising chicken.
You mean the best before date had lapsed?
Yes. Best before date had elapsed, and they had the criminal part of it is that they rebag it in warehouses and change the origin and conceal, the best before dates. I mean, that is a criminal intention. It is not as if you did it unknowingly. You are feeding these children with this poisoned food. That is the mess in the education sector. Then in the road sector, the mess again. You talk about how many thousand kilometers. When you are pushed to the wall, you say even sports fixing of potholes are part of the kilometers.
This is your own narratives.
Yesterday, Randy, I was listening to the president. In fact, he has no shame, just like everyone else in the MPP. How do you celebrate something you have delayed for this long? How? And you don't even have the courtesy and the decency to acknowledge the delay and to apologize to motorists for the delay. You are rather, with shoulders high and voice deep, waxing lyrically. Yet, you have inconvenienced motorists on that road for 6 years, because the lifespan of the contract was, if the NDC was in power, and by 2018, I'm sure this would have been an old one.
24 months.
It was for 24 months. You delayed that for 7 years, and you don't even have the courtesy to apologize. And you are rather chest beating and talking about how many interchanges you have constructed. Don't you have shame? Don't you have shame? If your predecessor was in power, that road would have been done in 2018, dusted and utilized by people. And these are the things you celebrate. And that's why I'm talking about the mess. The mess in even the fact that our conscience, or their conscience, not ours, because we still have it, their conscience is dead. They don't even see that the delay that they have caused for 6 years deserve an apology to us, but chest beaten. So even the moral psyche, the moral fiber of the country has been so messed up that as people in charge, they do not realize the mess that they are creating. So I'm not surprised that you say you are not joking. But the examples you have given, the people in school, clearly the numbers don't add up. Secondly, the increments over the years, even before free SHS, a trend analysis shows that nothing significant has happened. If you even look at the Education Watch report, they will tell you that parents now contribute about 70% of the cost of educating their children at the secondary school level. It is there. So really, what have you done
in school fees or
and,
what?
And you see, Randy, this whole free SHS thing. In fact, a lecturer friend of mine was telling me the other day when he drove from Accra to Tamale, and on his way he stopped by to buy some plantain and saw a market woman who was in the NPP apron, and engaged her in a conversation. And the woman said, "Oh, the NPP has done very well. They brought free SHS." And he said, "Okay, and how has that benefited you?" And the woman said, "Oh, my daughter just went to free SHS and she's completed. She's the one sitting there." And pointed to the girl sitting with her. And my lecturer friend, he's a lecturer, he's not a politician, so he left. But in the conversation, he was just thinking, so really, what is the value of this free SHS to this mother who is happy with it? The daughter has completed free SHS and is sitting with her by the shop. It's not like my daughter has completed free SHS and is now in the university or in any tertiary school. The fact that she has gone to, secondary school is okay for her. That is the mess I'm talking about. That is how messed up, that's how we have messed people up. To think that just having a child pass through 3 years, 4 years, senior high school is enough. But when the NDC talks about the quality and the benefits and the need to improve it so that children just don't pass through, they come out well-trained and equipped for the tertiary level and graduate to become more meaningful and impactful to our society, then you say that is being against free SHS. And that is the mess that I speak of.